You wake up as Joe Biden. What's your first move?
I'd just start sprinting without saying a word to anyone. I wonder how far the president could get before the Secret Service would be able to stop you.
This is making me giggle pretty good just thinking about a Secret Service agent on the roof or something watching the president run down the driveway through the gate and down the street, followed by increasingly panicked agents.
Nice try, Joe.
You mean BuzzFeed?
Top 10 things people would do if they woke up as Joe Biden. You won't believe number 69.
Wonder if Joe Biden woke up in my body.
I would probably call my old phone to see what happened.
Imagine that you're in a deep sleep, your cell phone rings, and you're still half asleep when you answer, and you hear good morning. This is the White House switchboard. The next voice you hear will be the president. Please hold. Hi, this is Joe Biden. Are you me?
Go to Area 51.
All you would see is weapon development projects. I'm guessing that most things that are extreme got moved to some black site when Area 51 rumors started to spread. Side note, Area 52 is the internet domain for the Air Force.
A lot of the nitty-gritty stuff is probably gibberish or boring as hell to most people, because test projects are usually ran by engineers that are regarded as turbo nerds even by the engineering community.
I've met one of those types. He had his PhD in some extremely specific aircraft system. I don't even remember what it was, because if you're going to read about it while studying your plane, the manual would only have a paragraph or two dedicated to it, and it's not even something you think about when flying it, but it was the backbone of this guy's entire career. Also, they would still hide things from the president. He would probably have to ask to see anything by citing the program name, and even then he would get the bare minimum exposure needed to satisfy his inquiry.
I always go to pee after waking up.
Now imagine that with the 79-year-old's prostate.
Rip some donuts in my Corvette while the Secret Service scrambles to keep up.
In my mind I thought you meant ravage a box of donuts, lol.
Learn about aliens.
If aliens were real, do we seriously believe that Trump would have kept his mouth shut about it?
Yes, because nobody would have followed protocol to tell him about them.
Of all the conspiracy theories about aliens out there, the one where the organization that monitors them not telling the president makes sense. Presidents come and go and change things. A government organization run by the same group for decades wouldn't want their protocols messed with, so it would make sense they keep it hush hush.
Eat Snickers. I'm not myself when I'm hungry.
See how many stores will let me walk in and just take things until I'm either stopped or stood up to an aerial way. I want to push the people around me unreasonably far to see what people let me get away with as a man in power. I do the "you got something on your shirt" thing so many times it would stop being funny and be classified as abuse by third-party investigators.
Definitely not masturbate.
More for me then.
ITT. People thinking the president can do way more than he actually can.
I think the order of things has changed in the last 11 hours. It's now mostly about peeing, eating ice cream, aliens and sexual activity.
Prank calling Trump.
Hey Donnie, I'm willing to pardon ya, but I gotta write it out on the thing, so it's sure you are covered. Just let me know what you need a pardon for, and I'll do it as a favor, since I know you are winning this in next.
Look around in a confused haze and then tell everyone that I'm not Joe Biden. People will just think I'm Joe Biden.
Wake up and speak a coherent sentence out loud to my cute bodyguard. Then ask if the aliens have called again. Then ask for a Western omelet, no ham, no peppers, no onions. Offer a nice bath with 2 Secret Service guards, just to make sure I don't slip in. After that I call off all my meetings and sit in the Oval Office playing Black Sabbath's song Rat Salad on repeat for just over an hour. A light lunch of duck in the kitchen making small talk with the chefs. After lunch you call Bernie Sanders, just to ask about his Netflix recommendations. Short nap. Dinner with the wife at a long table, also duck. Ask again if the aliens called. Sulk in the Oval Office for about 45 minutes. Off to bed in my favorite jammies, yellow and black plaid flannel. Wake up back to normal life making just over $35K a year wondering who covered my classroom.
What an incredible life.
Quickly learn all the dirty little secrets around Capitol Hill, Area 51, the eyes, the FBI, etc. Then make a huge speech about it all for 2 reasons. To inform the people of what our government is really up to. Watch how hard the other politicians and MSM try to cover things up.
I think you'd be disappointed to find out the IRS is far more boring than even the less imaginative people imagine.
Hire a team of 20 smart, but not super rich people, 6-figure salary people, and they're 35, 45s. Every problem that comes across to me, I send to them, and whatever guidance they give me I do. Not Republican/Democrat divide, and do what our super rich party leaders says to do nonsense.
That was the idea behind the presidential cabinet.
Resign and retirement.
He turned 80 on Sunday. It's time.
Call Obama, convince Obama to mentor the real me, and arrange a dinner date with Joe, the Obamas and myself. Next, ask for a burner phone, and use it to call Trump. When he answers, I say, is your refrigerator running? Let it. It has a better chance of beating DeSantis in the primary than you do. And hang up. Use a black light marker to draw devil horns on every slave-owning presidential portrait. Additionally, write mean burn book stuff on Jackson and Trump's portraits. Is Trump's portrait even there? Walk major.
Okay, so vandalize old presidential portraits. Got it.
I would nuke Ohio.
As president, I'd have nothing I could actually do myself to impact the way things unfold. At least from an economic perspective. Militarily, I'd be different. I'd pressure the Congress to legalize recreational marijuana, and then contact NATO leadership and hand over total control to the military leaders under my command, with them only needing to call me for nuclear approval. I'd make a statement to the world that stirring up chaos internally to help your own agenda will be treated as an act of war. Peaceful protest and open dialogue is welcome, but subversive tactics and misinformation/disinformation campaigns will now be considered military objectives, actively hunted, and destroyed, with the goal of eradicating them at whatever the cost. I'd instruct the armed forces to go after any threats identified by the NSA or other cyber intelligence teams, to help stop the misinformation campaigns currently dividing our populace and causing turmoil. I mean raids on data centers and total destruction of the whole infrastructure. I'd make propaganda very expensive.
I would outlaw investing in the stock market for the House and the Senate. I would make being a senator and representative in the House a service role, in which the pay is the average pay of the average American household and no more. I would outlaw all elected congressional officials from holding a job, or being paid more than twice that of the average American household for the rest of their lives, as well as White House staff for a period of 5 years after service in a public office. I would find my 5 most loyal senators, and start putting together a coalition that would enable ranked choice voting in all 50 states, and begin developing a third party that will challenge the duopoly. I would call the CEOs and owners of the major drug companies, and tell them every red cent given to them by the government is now gone, their ability to sell drugs in the USA is expired, that it would be illegal for them to export drugs, until they drop their markup on all drugs by 500%, or until that drug only provides at 25% markup and cost at the point of sale. I would call all insurance agencies, and say that each and every claim that is rejected, and later found to be a valid claim through a court decision would be fined no less than $2 million, that must be paid by the board of directors and or the owner of the company, and not by the company itself. I could mandate that all hospitals pay an income tax of all profit over 5% the net of expenses, but then give them government grants, to ensure that employment costs are guaranteed by the government, as long as that hospital is able to stay competitive with their peers in the 8 most agreed upon healthcare metrics. I would outlaw all for-profit prisons in the United States and its outlying nations. I would hold a press conference and say the following: for a long time you have been lied to by your leadership in an empathetic attempt to help you. This attempt has resulted in you losing the trust of the leadership of this country. From now on I will tell you the truth and trust that you and your family will be able to choose the correct thing to do for you and your family. Then I would tell the American people the truth of all things as I see it in an attempt to regain the public's trust in the leadership of our corrupt and spineless leaders.
Make gas prices higher.
If you think the president has any control over the price of gas, you should not comment on politics till you've educated yourself.
Get that student loan forgiveness through somehow. Legalize and decriminalize marijuana nationally. Issue pardons for nonviolent offenders.
Student loan forgiveness would have to be passed by Congress, which won't do it. The president can't legalize marijuana, because Congress passed a law making it illegal and technically child pornography, indecent exposure, driving while intoxicated, dealing drugs, selling illegal guns, corruption, and fraud are all nonviolent crimes, but I don't want those people running around. You woke up as Joe Biden, not God.
Step 1. Fire all the generals and admirals. Step 2. Find an 06 in each branch who burned bridges when they retired because stuff got too stupid. Step 3. Promote that man or woman and let them fill the leadership ranks with people that did not kiss ass or sell their soul to the politicians. Step 4. For the first time since Eisenhower have an honestly run military.
Best idea so far.
Animal abuse punishable by hard time and massive fines. All animals registered for ownership and must be screened Q6 months for welfare of the animal in terms of living conditions and health. If the check fails, animal is removed. Criminal punishments follow. Take animal abuse seriously.